Sophie Cunningham has gone viral after saying this about Caitlin Clark.
And it literally like pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league.
Who would be?
What?
The way Caitlin Clark is being targeted is no longer just a theory, it's a deliberate strategy.
When people try to argue that she's not the face of our league, you're dumb as shit.
Yeah.
You're literally dumb as fuck.
You cannot push aside your greatest assets. You can't take the spotlight off of them.
Some players don't just play the game, they change it. Caitlin Clark is one of those players.
She'd had enough. Sophie Cunningham didn't just play, she took a stand. After weeks of seeing Caitlin Clark pushed and disrespected, Sophie snapped. What came next lit up the internet and stunned the Fever president. This was more than basketball, it was about loyalty. If you stand 100% with Caitlin Clark, drop it in the comments now.
And it literally like pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league.
Who would be?
What?
Sabrina? No.
No, there's really good, well-known people in our league. I'm not discrediting them. Like, we have a lot of badasses in our league.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah to that. I'm all for that. But when people try to argue that she's not the face of our league,
Yeah.
or if our league would be where we're at without her, you're dumb as shit.
Yeah.
You're literally dumb as fuck.
To most, it looked like just another heated moment in a WNBA game.
Game after game, we've seen the same pattern. Cheap shots, hard fouls, and what looks like a relentless physical campaign against her.
But what really happened between Sophie Cunningham and a Connecticut Sun player was far deeper. It was the breaking point after weeks of rising tension. Sophie had seen what fans had long suspected.
She protects Caitlin Clark in that Connecticut Sun game, throws J.C. Sheldon to the floor. That's when she became a viral sensation.
Caitlin Clark wasn't being treated like any other rookie. She was being deliberately targeted, and Sophie called it out.
You have seen players in our league try to like toughen up Caitlin. We call her CC. CC. No, we're going to prove her. We're going to show her what the W really is.
Before she even joined the Fever, Sophie had already heard the talk, especially in Phoenix locker rooms, about players wanting to teach Caitlin a lesson. They weren't just testing her, they were planning to knock her down because of her fame, her influence, and the attention she brought.
Make no mistake, Indiana Fever, all these people viewing these games, all these people showing up to your arena, they're showing up there for Caitlin Clark. It's a miracle. Some of those games without Caitlin Clark that don't involve the Fever are actually getting like 600,000 views.
As Sophie put it, every rookie gets tested, but this, it's too much.
It's just too much.
It's too much, says Sophie Cunningham.
Coming from one of the league's toughest voices, that wasn't just frustration, it was a wake-up call. Sophie pointed out how Caitlin brings sellout crowds, flips away games into home games,
But there's just more for her. I'm over it. And if I'm saying it's too much, then it's probably too much.
and still gets treated like she hasn't earned her spot. She didn't sugarcoat it. This wasn't hazing, it was harassment.
When the Indiana Fever played the Connecticut Sun, this wasn't just another game. It was the moment the WNBA's problem was laid bare for everyone to see. As Clark, visibly upset and still in pain, pushing Sheldon away, the situation exploded.
And when the Connecticut game crossed the line again, Sophie did more than speak. She acted. A hard foul became a message. No fear of fines, no hesitation. Just someone finally saying what everyone else was too afraid to. This has gone too far.
Last second intrusive thoughts. I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
And I at first I just tried to like hold her and like put her, like grab her.
Like,
Just let me explain.
Sorry.
I know what it looked like. I got her, but at the very end, and I'm not saying this is what caused it, but she dipped a little bit.
Yeah.
Like but she did dip. And then right when I saw, I was like, oh shit, like my bad. Not really my bad. And then they both came at me. I was like, fuck it. Come.
did you get fined for that?
Yeah, like $900,
Oh.
which like our fines are a joke.
Back in the locker room, Caitlin's quiet finally said everything. No one had stepped up for her until now. And Sophie's reply, I got you. That moment didn't just speak volumes. It pulled the Fever together like never before. It wasn't just a foul, it was a stand.
But in the locker room, I think she was like, finally, you know, like finally someone else. I was like, dude, I got you. I think that kind of had our team come together as a whole.
What Sophie Cunningham did on the court made headlines. But what she revealed off the court hit even deeper. This wasn't just about one heated moment or one viral clip.
Sophie Cunningham was not worried about hurting any feelings.
It was about a broader culture in the WNBA that has no.
I know the talks that Phoenix had in the locker room of like, no, we're going to prove her, we're going to show her what the W really is.
This isn't just about the welcome to the league moments that rookies often face, and into this void that Sophie Cunningham has finally stepped armed with the truth.
Knowingly or not, fostered a troubling double standard when it comes to Caitlin Clark. And Sophie had the courage to say what others stayed quiet about. She pulled back the curtain and showed us the truth. Caitlin wasn't simply being welcomed like any rookie. She was being targeted in a way no newcomer had ever faced.
Opponents grab, hold, and push her long after the ball is gone. And they fight through screens with a physicality that often sends her to the floor. And a lot of time, there's no whistle.
It was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And
that the referees had not been protecting the star player of the WNBA.
And Sophie made it clear this wasn't about hard-nosed basketball or healthy competition. It was personal. She didn't hesitate. I know what was said in Phoenix. We're going to prove her, show her what the W really is. Let that sink in. A full locker room discussing how to take down one player. Why? Because she shifted the spotlight. Because she packed arenas. Because she brought in money and media attention the league had never seen before. Sophie didn't sugarcoat it. There's jealousy, and it's turned into something ugly. As she put it, there's just more for her.
Who else in the, I say WNBA, I know you say W, talks about who like shits on refs besides you?
the first half,
Full body
dude,
chested.
by 3 people.
late- yeah.
Like 2 people, they're like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, if that was anyone else, I would have been booted out of the game. I don't even have a leash. I just have a freaking collar and a hand on it.
And Sophie didn't stop at the players. She went after the refs too. She called out how blatant fouls against Caitlin were ignored, how Fever players were shoved and hacked while the officials looked the other way. If that was anyone else, I'd be thrown out, she said. I don't even have a leash. I've got a collar with a hand on it. Her words weren't exaggerations. They were raw and painfully real. She exposed the inconsistency, the lack of accountability, and how stars like Caitlin are left unprotected while their fame fuels the league's growth.
And with that comes the daily scrutiny.
But I just hate that because, why can't people just be nice?
She also came after the media. While they ride the Caitlin wave for views, they're quick to spin negativity the moment she shows confidence or emotion. Even fellow players like Kelsey Plum have taken shots at her publicly. Instead of backing the momentum Caitlin brings, they throw shade or try to diminish her influence. Sophie wasn't having it. She called it exactly what it is, clout chasing disguised as criticism. And then she delivered the hardest truth of all. I just hate that because this is what we've always wanted as a league.
WNBA players who've been in the league before Caitlin Clark came, they're the old guards.
So who cares who gets the credit? If you're smart, you're making money off of her. That wasn't just support, it was a reality check. Sophie wasn't defending Caitlin out of loyalty alone. She was exposing the hypocrisy. The same league figures cashing in on Caitlin's star power are the ones who stay silent when she's targeted.
That we want to sustain the growth and the interest level in the franchise. I mean, this is about the Indiana Fever. Yes, we have a foundational player in Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston, and we're going to continue to add to that. But I want this team to be the leader in the country, and a brand, an enduring brand, like Apple or something. I mean, we have a real opportunity here.
They sell her name, boost ratings with her image, but when it's time to stand with her, crickets, or worse, criticism. And the worst part? Sophie knows the fans are watching. The young girls in Caitlin jerseys, the families buying tickets, the millions she brought to the game.
If you piss off this fan base and Caitlin Clark leaves, it's lights out. You're being warned by the fan base right now.
They're seeing the bullying. They're seeing the disrespect, and it's pushing them away. Sophie's warning wasn't just for the players. It was for the entire WNBA. Protect the face of your league or risk losing the people who are keeping it alive. Sophie didn't just speak out. She held up a mirror. And the reflection she showed the league, it wasn't flattering.
You can't take the spotlight off of them as players. You can't You can't put cuffs on them as players. You certainly can't do that. You're going to create animosity, resentment towards the franchise.
When Sophie Cunningham stood up, it wasn't just about defending Caitlin Clark. It lit a fire across the league.
I think Sophie Cunningham loves the limelight because, and it makes, like, it'll improve her.
The second that clip went viral, everything shifted. Fans had already felt the disrespect Caitlin was facing, but watching a teammate put it all on the line, that made it undeniable. Sophie's composed, fearless expression during the moment didn't just trend, it became a symbol of defiance. In just hours, Sophie went from a solid WNBA starter to a viral icon.
I went from 200,000 on TikTok
Before the fight.
and then I had like 100,000 on Instagram. Over the night, over 1 million on both.
Her follower count exploded, over 1 million new fans across TikTok and Instagram in under 2 days. Edits flooded in with slow-mo shots, dramatic music, and captions like Sophie the Enforcer or Protect the Queen.
Over the night, or over like a day and a half, over 1 million on both. And now people know me as WWE.
WWE, yeah, fighter.
Who knew that me, like, being my natural, feisty, sassy self?
Mm-hmm.
People legit are like, oh, it's all... I'm like, dude.
That was real. You had her like...
I didn't even have her by the hair.
Yeah.
My mom, Paula, she's always like, if you're going to do something, don't be catty. Don't go the hair. Like, you better... If you're going to do it, do it.
But this wasn't some planned spectacle. Sophie put it best. That was real. I didn't even have her by the hair. My mom always said, don't be catty. If you're going to do something, do it for real. But beneath the viral moment was something more meaningful. That night, everything changed in the Fever locker room. Sophie said Caitlin looked at her after the game and simply said, finally. It wasn't just thanks. It was release. Someone finally had her back. And Sophie replied, I got you. That moment sparked something powerful. What had been a team still finding its rhythm became united.
She's the first one to get in an opponent's face when things get too physical with Clark, and she made it clear, if you mess with the rookie, you have to go through her first.
They weren't just teammates anymore. They were a squad ready to ride for each other. And the league, it didn't know what to do. On one hand, the WNBA was enjoying a surge, buzzing social media, rising merch sales, and nonstop highlight reels. But on the other hand, Sophie had forced them to confront the truth. Their silence had turned Caitlin into a target. They could no longer dismiss it as rookie growing pains. Sophie got fined $900. Nothing major by pro standards, but a fine nonetheless. She didn't flinch. She laughed. Our fines are a joke, she said, then doubled down, ripping into the officiating again. She pointed out the obvious. Caitlin wasn't getting the same protection. What should have been clear fouls were overlooked.
The Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark, the state of the franchise. You cannot push aside your greatest assets, sideline them. You can't take the spotlight off of them.
Some players don't just play the game, they change it. Caitlin Clark is one of those players. The way Caitlin Clark is being targeted is no longer just a theory, it's a deliberate strategy.
When people try to argue that she's not the face of our league, you're dumb as shit.
Yeah.
You're literally dumb as fuck.
Full chest contact by two people, and nothing. If it were me, I'd be tossed, no leash, just a collar and a hand on it. And Sophie didn't stop there. She called out the league's hypocrisy, everyone profiting from Caitlin's stardom while doing nothing to shield her. The same franchises benefiting from packed arenas were the ones plotting to humble her. The same analysts building shows around her name were the first to question her worth. And the league office? Quiet, no public support, no statement, no unity. That silence said everything. While Caitlin kept showing up, battling through pain, staying calm under pressure, Sophie did what no one else dared. She pushed back, not for attention, not for fame, for her teammate.
And you finding me $500 is not going to do shit. They are too emotionally invested and they can't take it. See?
Caitlin out. Have you had to kind of rise up?
Soon.
Are you second best shooter after her?
For respect, for what's right. And that's where things took a turn. Sophie didn't just gain fans, she gained power. Suddenly, media outlets that once ignored Caitlin's mistreatment were forced to address it. Voices that had been silent started liking, reposting, quietly aligning with Sophie's stance. Still, not everyone followed. Some players stuck to their shade, throwing jabs, downplaying Caitlyn's role, claiming she wasn't the face of the league. Sophie didn't hold back. If you're still denying Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA, you're dumb as bleep. No sugarcoating, no media filter, just truth. And she's right. Who else filled college stadiums with 20,000 fans? Who else made preseason WNBA games global news? Who else has kids across America proudly wearing their jersey? This isn't even a debate. Caitlin Clark is the face of the league. And thanks to Sophie Cunningham, everyone knows, if you come for Caitlin, you'll answer to all of them. This wasn't just a moment. This wasn't just a foul. It was a line drawn in fire, and Sophie drew it with purpose.
It was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And
why bully the person who is like not 100% responsible, but like has a huge role in growing your sport?
Dude, and it literally like pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league.
Who would be?
What?
Sabrina? No.
No, there's really good, well-known people in our league. I'm not discrediting them. Like, we have a lot of badasses in our league.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah to that. I'm all for that. But when people try to argue that she's not the face of our league, or if our league would be where we're at without her, you're dumb as shit.
Yeah.
You're literally dumb as fuck.
Sophie Cunningham didn't just back up a teammate. She pulled the curtain back on the reality no one wanted to admit. In a league quick to cash in on Caitlin Clark's fame, but slow to defend her, Sophie stepped forward and drew the line. Enough is enough.
The WNBA and the Indiana Fever did not realize what they were about to get themselves into with drafting Caitlin Clark, because the popularity they weren't prepared for and didn't see coming. Indiana Fever leadership, the president, talking about trying to build the Fever brand. You cannot push aside your greatest assets, sideline them. You can't take the spotlight off of them.
Her message wasn't quiet, and it wasn't just for Caitlin. It was for the entire WNBA. You're either with progress or you're standing in its way. And now, because of Sophie, that choice is crystal clear. If you stand for loyalty, respect, and truth over silence, drop a 100% in the comments. Let them know you stand with Caitlin Clark.